Alright, so what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and I am coming to you guys with more card information from deck building set crossover breakers. So we recently just got a massive wave of information for the next archetype. So remember the Longhua? Well, their archetype name has now technically been changed. Their archetype name is called the Apodrakosis. The Apodrakosis archetype. The Apodrakosis archetype is a series of monsters that, ironically enough, focus on ritual summon. But these aren't just normal ritual summons, these are some high level ritual summons. And they have an archetypal gimmick to bring out their ritual monster, as well as, sorry, it's shaking, to also bring out a couple of their pieces as well, through effects that have them sending cards from the hand to the bottom of the deck, and then being able to play themselves, and then returning cards are doing certain effects because of it. So the Longhua monsters have definitely been changed. So they were previously called Longhua because of the story that they were incorporating was supposed to be the romance of the Three Kingdoms. But then there was a bit, I guess, some controversy about it from Konami's end, and they went with Apodrakosis, which is supposed to be played on the words of Extension, Apotosis, and Draco as well, connecting a dragon-esque ambiance to it, which to be very honest with you reading this, there aren't that many dragons in this archetype. Like, just the boss monster is a dragon. That's it. But they have, like, dragon-like looks to them. So, no, arrivally, there'll be some connections to some of the Chinese aspects of it, but most of the main deck monsters in it use Chinese names for dragons, but most of them are not dragon type. So, alright, let's just go through this overall. So the first monster up is this big boy right here. This is Apodrakosis of Dino Krog. Kiaiba. And Kiaiba rigged Apodrakosis of Dino Krog. This is a level 10 Earth attribute dinosaur type monster with 3k attack and 1200 defense. So you're going to use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn. Hold on for 1 second because I'm going to change this just a bit. Okay, there we go. This is a lot better. So now we can see things on a lot scaled. So this is, yeah, Kuaiba, the Rigid Apodrakosis Dino Crag. So, level 10 Earth Attribute Dinosaur type monster with 3k attack and 1200 defense. You can use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn each. Shuffle this card from your hand into your deck to add 1 Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Dino Crag from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, if 2 or more cards are destroyed this turn, quick effect, you can just summon this card from your hand. By placing 1 Apodrakosis Ascension of Drago Crag you control on the bottom of your deck, you can target other cards on the field up to the number of types among monsters on the field and destroy them. Then we have the second of the Apodrakosis monsters. This is Yanaba, Abyssal Apodrakosis of Serpent Fall. It's a level 10 water attribute sea serpent type monster with 3k attack and 2000 defense. You can only use each of its following effects once per turn each. You can discard this card to add 1 Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Serpent Fall from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, if 2 or more monsters other than Uaiba, Abyssal Apodrakosis of Serpent Fall is sent from the hand or deck to the grave this turn, you can summon this card from your graveyard. Third effect, you can place 1 face-up Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Serpent Fall you control to the bottom of your deck to banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw that same number of cards. Then we have Baba, Champion Apodrakosis of Yerm Haze. This is a level 10 wind attribute Yerm type monster with 3k attack, 1500 defense. You can use each of its following effects once per turn each. Which are, you can banish this card from your hand to add one Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Yerm Haze from your deck to your hand. If a monster or monsters becomes banished face up while this card is banished, and there are two or more banished monsters other than Baba, Champion Apodrakosis of Yerm Haze, you can just summon this card. You can place one Apodrakosis Ascension of Yerm Haze you control to the bottom of your deck to then add one Apodrakosis card from your deck, grave, or banish to your hand, except for Baba, Champion of Apodrakosis. Then here we are to the big monster. So this monster was previously Longhua, Gumba, Luminous Longhua of Starfreege. Now it is now Gunba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starfreege. It's a level 10 light attribute dragon type ritual pendulum monster. Jesus fucking Christ, that is a lot. And it has 3,500 attack, 2,500 defense with a pendulum scale of 0. You can only use the pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. Pendulum effect. During the main phase, you can add one Apodrakosis card from your deck to your hand, except for a pendulum monster. Then destroy this card. Ritual summon this card using... If you ritual summon this card with Gumba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starfreege, you must special summon it by its own effect, okay? You can only special summon Gamba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starfreege per turn. When this monster on the field is destroyed by battle or effect while this card is in the extra deck, when a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the extra deck, you can contribute one level 10 Apodrakosis monster, and if you do, you such summon this card. It is treated as a ritual summon. Then you can destroy up to 2 cards you control, and then if you do, place that number of Apodrakosis continuous spells from your deck to face up on the field. Apodrakosis World Creation. Quick play spell. You can only use one of the 2 effects this card has once per turn, and only once per turn. You can add one Apodrakosis monster from your deck to your hand, then add one Apodrakosis pendulum monster from your hand. Then add one Apodrakosis pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up. During the main phase, if you control an Apodrakosis pendulum monster card, you can banish this card, then and one Apodrakosis monster in your graveyard to summon one Apodrakosis monster from your deck with the same original level as the banished monster. Original type as the banished monster. Then Apodrakosis Ascension Chest of Transmigration field spell. You can activate each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn. When this card resolves, you can make up to 3 monsters in your deck. 1 dinosaur, 1 sea serpent, and 1 Yerm. Then add one of them to your hand, banish the other, and then place one in your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for dragon, sea serpent, dinosaur, and Yerm. Second effect. If the face-up Genba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starfreege is in your extra deck, you can special summon up to 3 Apodrakosis monsters with different types. 1 from your deck, 1 from your graveyard, and 1 from your banished. Then we have Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Dino Crag. You can only activate 1 of this card per turn. When an Apodrakosis monsters gain 300 attack. Apodrakosis Pendulum monster and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type is dinosaur gain the following effect. Once per turn, when the effect of a monster on the field with less attack than this card will be activated. Quick effect. You can place one Apodrakosis continuous spell you control to the bottom of the deck, and if you do, negate the activation. Then the second effect is next card is Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Serpent Fall. You can only activate 1 of this card's name per turn. Apodrakosis monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Apodrakosis Pendulum monsters and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type is Sea Serpent gain the following effect. Once per turn, once per your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can place one face-up Apodrakosis continuous spell you control to the bottom of your deck. And if you do, target one card on the field and return it to the hand. Apodrakosis Gate of Yerm Haze continuous spell. You can activate one Apodrakosis Ascension of Wormfall per turn. Any monsters sent from the field to the graveyard during your opponent's turn are banished instead. Apodrakosis Pendulum monsters and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type are Yerm gain this following effect. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect. You may place one Apodrakosis continuous spell you control to the bottom of your deck, target one face-up monster on the field, and change its attack to 0. Reprints that are going to be in the set are the following. Senju of 10,000 Hands, Planet Pathfinder, Arch Nemesis Prophis, Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer, and the World Gear of Tangential Democracy. Which, all of those cards are technically cards that support level 10 monsters, just to get that out the way. So, let's talk about this archetype, because I spent about a good 10 minutes reading almost every card in this damn archetype. So, while the name changed from Longhua, and I think it was Saiju, no, they're all going to become Longhua, changed to Apodrakosis. Nice play on the words of Apotos, Dragon, and Crosis, because, yeah, there's going to be... God, I want to know what they're going to do with CCG name, because it's going to be butchered as hell. Remember how Abyssal became Oogalago? Yeah, no, they should have just kept them Abyssal. Anyway, so we talk about the dinosaur, Dino Crag. So they all have the archetypal gimmick of, you can shuffle particular cards from your hand to then place their gate of particular card onto the field. So for this guy here, is that during the main phase, if 2 cards are destroyed, and you can special summon this card from your hand, then his effect is to place his Ascension Gate of Dino Crag to the bottom of the deck to then target cards on the field to destroy them, to then target cards up to different types of monsters on the board and destroy them. So return cards to the bottom of the deck to then destroy that many number of monsters with a different type as a number of different types on the field. So, I mean, a board clear. In a way. Which, it's not bad. But the process of trying to put these level 10 monsters on the field does make up for it, where they're sending cards to the bottom of the deck to then play themselves. So that does carry out some of those issues. I feel like some of the Ubel stuff, and what is that field spell? The Monument card, that probably will also ascend them, because then they can't be destroyed by card effect. So they probably just either dump out their field spell or play around with variations of decks to really feel like their field spells. This is part of the reason why terraforming's never going back to 1. Then we go into the Serpent, the Yanba, Vissel, Apodrakosis, Serpent Fall. So this one has the ability that it can, place... It can activate its own spell from the deck. Then the summon itself is when 2 or more monsters are either sent from the hand or graveyard, or from the hand or deck to the graveyard, to then special summon itself. So it's not going to be too hard. You play cards like Foolish Burials and stuff like that. So at least that way it'll trigger off of their abilities. And I think it has to be cards sent by an effect, right? 2 or more cards. Other than... So it has to be 2 or more monsters. Okay. So, yeah, with the way the deck itself is going, that it does do that on its own, then its ability to basically banish your opponent's hand and then replace the cards in their hand. So this is the card that basically focuses on hand disruption. It's okay. It's, 2014. Other decks can do hand disruption, just like Dark World and Trickstar. So, I guess. Alright. Good thing for making it a sea serpent and not a dragon, because then that would have just caused even more issues. Then we're going to move on to Baba. Baba has the ability to... This is kind of one of the weakest ones of them. It's just the Searcher. It's really all it is. But it's honestly still a good summon, because it's able to summon itself when more than 2 monsters are banished, other than itself. I believe it's from face-up cards that are banished. Monsters that are face-up that are banished. Okay, yeah. So yeah, pretty meh. Not gonna lie. Probably the it's the searcher, so I understand them putting a bigger restriction on it. But damn, this wind gets shafted. Then we have their boss monster. He looks pretty, honestly, pretty okay. A pendulum scale of 0, and from the judges of it, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some new support for it, and maybe Sinister Shadows, which is supposed to be the next set in the OCG, is probably going to have maybe some cards for it that are going to be a pendulum monster for each of those respective types: the dinosaur, the sea serpent, and the worm. Do I see the thing about this monster that really puzzles me is that is that it's a monster that's gonna focus on a quadrilateral typing situation, but then also try to carry the deck itself with such a mediocre effect, um, to just basically destroy cards you control to then place the continuous spells. I guess with the effects of the continuous spells, it's supposed to be beneficial. But I'm looking at just the lineup of things, and it's just like, do better. Because I guess they didn't want to make it broken. Maybe that's the thing. They just didn't want to make it too broken. But it's just like, this card is trash. I'm sorry, it really is. Like, the only way to make up for it is that it places the continuous spells on the field. So you're really working on the continuous spells. It's like a really butchered True King, True Draco. This is kind of what that feels like. A very butchered True King, True Draco. And even then, they had enough resources to really benefit from it. Quick Lay spell, not too bad. Just places things on the board. And then gives a ritual summon. So that's not too bad. Oh, they also mentioned that this monster can ritual summon itself. Yeah, no, it's still kind of pretty bad. Then we have the Crest of Transmigration, which is just a master summoner as well. But you only really get the benefit from things if Gamba is in the extra deck. So, yeah. Then the Extinction Drago Crag, which what gives a negation effect to your dinosaur. Okay, pretty sweet. Then you have the Serpent Fall, which returns cards to the hand. So it does what water normally does. Wind just reduces attack points to 0. I don't know how beneficial that could really be, but sure, you do you. And then the reprints are basically here to either support a ritual summon, support searching for your field spell, be a level 10 monster with some edge, be a exceed monster for level 10 monsters, which, yeah. And then just another support card for level 10. I am so sorry. I have to honestly say this is one of the worst of the two. I don't know how people are going to try to play around with this, because this is so contentiously just what the fuck. You're trying to be a ritual deck, but also trying to be a pendulum deck, and then also trying to be like a level 10, like, toolbox or shit. It's just like, oh my god. This is just horrible. I'm sorry, this is horrible. Did Konami just really just make this deck horrible on purpose? Like, it's trying to be True King, True Draco, but then also trying to be like some rank 10 like setup, and then just like a pendulum deck on top of it. It's just like there's too many things that are just corresponding that I just don't like. So this basically, at this point, we can confirm Raziel, and then the other deck that's supposed to come after, which I'll talk about when that stuff gets announced, is just trying to, yeah, no, like, this is on the bottom of the barrel unless someone can prove me otherwise. Sorry, it's just how it is. I'm trying to read behind the bases of it, but guys, no. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. You gotta just, no. I can't. It's really bad. It's a lot of things that are corresponding with each other that I don't find the synergy. The monsters in it definitely are trying to be like a vanquished soul, dragon, True King, True Draco, pendulum type of, no. I'm done. It's just, no. Someone has to really sell me on this to say this is a really good deck. Because this is just falling apart. And I'm just reading all of it. But let me know in the comment section what you guys feel about the Apodrakosis archetype. Are you feeling it? Did I miss out on something? Am I just over exaggerating? Or is this really just as bad as I think it is? Let me know in the comment section below. With that in told, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel because it helps me out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to my channel, while my social media links are in the description box below. And you guys can check out the playlist to see other content that I've created. So, with that being said, thanks everyone for watching, and your boy HBJ signing out. Take care.